One of the things that you're here to learn, in addition to incorporating feedback from your professor in order to grow and develop ideas, is to give meaningful feedback to one another. And this video lecture is going to address how you do that, ways that you can be kind but also critical, and how you can help your peers in your group discussions elaborate on their ideas. What I'm going to do is show you what should be very familiar to you, example from your discussion for Essay 1. And this is the thesis draft and ad image discussion. And I picked Group B, particularly because Group B had a total of 41 posts for a group of 5, which is a very good number of posts, a very active group, and also because of the feedback specifically given by some of the members of the class. So here, for example, is Vertrese's post about her Kendall Jenner ad and her claim. And her claim was a very good beginning. And here's some feedback that she received. And I want to show you the two-step process that I'm noticing from some of you, in particular in this post from Killy. So I agree with what you have said about the ad, but it also seems that the ad appeals to the argument that a woman is owned by perfume. It has the upper hand in the relationship. Really, it is the phallic symbol in the relationship here. You might consider writing more words in the thesis, as it will give you more substance when you get to write your paper. So this is an example of very good feedback because it helps this writer elaborate on a very important element, which is, of course, her thesis statement, so that her terms can become more specific and less vague, and also giving the writer kudos for what she did well. When you go to graduate school to learn how to teach writing, they tell you always start with positive. And then you can see that Killy does a very good job of giving feedback on how to elaborate without sounding mean or cruel or overly critical. Another really good example here is when we get to this post about the Wonder Bra, which was an ad several people like to use because it so blatantly feeds into what Jean Kilbourne is saying about over-sexualization and how breasts are used to sell everything. So the thesis statement is fairly long. It does talk about pathos, which is excellent, right? And that pathos is stimulating. The ad devalues women, which is, of course, something that Jean Kilbourne would say in her feminist critique. And here we have some very good feedback from Ashley, okay? I agree, again, starting with the positive, your thesis, the ad is telling the audience that as long as you look sexy, you don't have to know how to cook or do anything else, really. Now, the thing that Ashley adds on is powerful. I believe Kilbourne would think this is misinformation for our youth and damaging to our youth. And then Killy again comes in with, I agree, and here's another idea for you while you're writing your paper. What about that dumb blonde stereotype? It screams, I'm stupid, but look at my breasts. So here we have two really good examples of ways that this writer can grow and develop a thesis statement. Nobody is saying this sucks or this isn't any good or why are you in this class. Criticism is not an attack. Your critic is your friend. And sometimes it is easier for you to develop one another's ideas than it is for even a professor to help you develop your ideas. And the reason that discussion groups are so important in an online class is that they're here to help you participate with one another. They're here to help you have that communal knowledge building and knowledge sharing. And I know from the way that you have thanked each other in Group B that you found one another's information valuable. So don't think you don't have anything to say or that you can't help one another in your groups. In the future, do these things. Number one, pick something positive, something that you can begin with that you thought the writer did well. Number two, be very specific. You directly quote what your writer is saying and respond to that. 3, look for areas that are vague, that maybe are undefined in terms of terminology. Remember to remind your writer to look at the prompt and what the prompt is asking that writer to do. And this is true with all assignments, not just with essay assignments. So moving forward, you have a lot to do in terms of discussion groups coming up. And the assignments and discussion groups will also become fuller as we move towards building a community in our online class.